Hi guys, welcome to earnings season. I'm Randy Rowe at RT Rowe on Twitter,
And I'm Danai Hall at Danai on Twitter.
and we are bringing another earnings season to you this week. So you guys know earnings season. You know that we by now. I hope you guys will be familiar with earnings season. If it's your first episode, welcome. We talk about business, we talk about finance, so we talk about it in a way, hopefully that any and everybody can understand. So it's not like the business news. It's like the conversation after the
After the
business news.
business,
And one of the things that we do a lot of is that we try to have industry people, if we can, finance people, CEOs, blah blah blah. We've done a couple of interviews. We've had great interviews, and this week we are going to do another one. But before we jump into that, I just want to touch on the market. I asked Danai right before we start a couple of seconds ago if anything important happened on the market while we are out, and not really. I mean, of course, results are out.
Yeah, but we can cover that in our usual, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything right now out that we can't just talk about at a later time, because today's an important episode, guys.
Yeah, very, very important episode. So what we're doing is we're pausing that entire market review that we've been doing, and we're interviewing one specific person that I know the long-time listeners will be very, very familiar with. The return of the one and only Larren Peart, Mr. Manishwata himself.
That himself.
Greetings.
Larry,
Thanks for having me again, guys.
all right, guys. So that's Larren, Mr. BlueDot. Larren, the last time you were here, I didn't make a big deal about the people that need to get a follow. How your Twitter stay these days?
I try not to watch them something there, but the last time I checked, I had a little over 1,500 followers, so some good growth, I think.
Yeah, you stay like me. I don't pay attention to it. I'm saying this right now, going through Twitter just to check. Yeah, you have 1,600 followers. What? At the time, you had like 100. I'm taking all the credit for that line.
All right, no problem. I have no problem.
I mean, he's been doing a lot on himself, doing Randy.
Yeah,
especially lately.
Yes, yeah, that's the truth. I really can't take that credit. Larren has more than put himself out there. So Larren has been working on a bunch of stuff. Larren, which one you want to talk about first, Larren? Can I look like if me here say a cure corona, I'm not surprised.
No. Well, yeah, I guess we talk about Citizens Response Jamaica first. So, which has absolutely like blown up and mushroomed into um, something I didn't even think it would have, or gone places that I didn't even think it would. So it started out with me seeing a video on Twitter, big up to Twitter, of a doctor explaining just how important ventilators were, and then I asked some friends of mine, or just asked around, like what's the situation with ventilators in Jamaica. Found out that we only had 35, and I thought that was absolutely horrible. Wow! And being the
35.
Yeah.
35 for 3 million
in the
people.
entire country.
Yeah, in the entire country.
I asked that question. Sorry to cut you, Lara. I've been digging to find that question because it was a major thing for me. 35, 3 million.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So at the time. Yeah. So when I found out, being the crazy person that I am, I figured, why not just build ventilators out there? So that's literally how Citizens Response JA started. I then called up two very smart people that I know, Yakini Wallen Brand and Ty Acosta, both of them engineers, and said, let's try and tackle this. And, it didn't take any convincing, and that's how it started. So no, we're still on the ventilator project waiting to get approved. But since then, we've done several other things. Firstly, we've fixed several ventilators. There are a lot of broken down ventilators in the system, so we fixed those, which is a major. And then,
how many you managed to get back in circulation?
I think we're probably up to around 18 or so now, probably.
Wow, that's big.
And we still have, and it took a lot of taking parts off one and putting them, and just mix and matching. Right.
But you increased the ventilator count by 50%, more than 50% line. That's actually impactful.
Right.
Wow.
Well, if you look at it that way, it's up. We're up to about that now. Yeah, that figure. And then So we're still working on the emergency ventilator, and it's not a ventilator in the truest sense, or what you'd be accustomed to see now. But what's been happening in Jamaica is that because of the shortage of ventilators, the doctors use what is called an ambubac, which is
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's just a bag that they press and they use with their hands.
Mm-hmm.
But they literally sit down for hours,
Pumping.
8 hours, just pumping life literally into patients. So what we've done is automated that by building a machine that just presses that back. But there's a whole bunch of technicality that goes into it, because you have to account for volume and pressure, something that they call tidal wave or tidal rate, sorry, um,
Mm-hmm.
peep valves, a whole bunch of technical stuff that um, we've gotten down the specs now, and we're really just waiting to get it approved, and then we'll just start building, mass producing as many as possible. Luckily, the situation is that Jamaica hasn't, it hasn't gotten to that dire stage where, we need hundreds of them, but we're still building them, to supply to the hospitals for cases where they will need to manually or will need to bag a patient outside
Mm-hmm.
of COVID, for COVID and outside of COVID. So that's pretty huge. Um, and then we've on Friday we delivered the last set of 5,000 masks to hospitals. So we've manufactured over 5,000 sewn masks. Um, on Monday we'll be delivering 1,000 face shields to the Ministry of Health. We have we're building on another 4,000 to be delivered as well. Um,
Oh, are you doing
we
this for free?
All of it is non-profit. Yeah.
Wow.
So Larren
Um,
for health minister.
no, no, I really just trying to help. The healthcare, protecting the healthcare workers is primary, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Um,
is primary, yeah. Without them, there's nothing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're manufacturing gowns as well. So we finally found the right material that's waterproof, etc.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to manufacturing thousands of gowns. We're major. We got an order from the ministry just last week, Friday, for 46 testing booths. I'll probably send you guys a picture. Maybe you can put it up, but it's uh it's literally
Yeah,
a
no,
booth.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, it's literally a booth that the healthcare worker goes inside, and the patient is outside, and it's technical again. It's completely sealed off, has negative pressure, and
Mhm.
protects the healthcare workers when they're testing potential COVID-19 patients. Um, so I'm especially proud of that. Um,
That is a major
yeah.
one. That is a major one. Yeah.
Outside of that, there's major. We just printed. I'll send you a video of this as well. We bought some very special printers, 3D printers that can manufacture. Oh, no, sorry, that can print test swabs. So
Oh,
just
oh,
today, the first batch of 325 test swabs was printed. Um, and we have three machines, so we can print almost 1,000 per day, which means that 1,000 people can get tested a day if needed. Or we'll add a
Word.
thousand test swabs to the pool of the Ministry of Health, if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's major. And there's other stuff that we're doing. We built the tracing app, um, that will allow every individual to or will it automates the manual tracing that the government is doing now, where they
So like
literally,
when them try to find out who
yeah,
touched where or went where.
yeah, we've built that up. But there's a lot. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Like this group, we have, 21 subgroups, WhatsApp groups, just for this project alone, and each one is a project in and of itself.
Wow. How do you manage that?
yeah.
That's a real question. How do you manage that sort of thing?
I don't, and that's just the truth. I don't manage. Um, it's rough. It's rough, and then at the same time, trying to keep BlueDot afloat. It's been very rough. Yeah.
right? I plan to come to that on last or near last
Yeah.
because I don't know, but what as you can hear, people, that's one of the reasons. So, Larren is one of my favorite interviews that I've done so far because
Same
Really?
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
For real?
because
You're
you're an
not you
honest
guys just saying
CEO.
that.
No, no, no.
No, 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 no. you should you should listen to this show, Larren. We don't just set things.
It's
Yeah.
one of the interviews I personally share. Like I introduce somebody to the podcast and I say, listen to this episode specifically to start.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm honored. Thanks.
yeah, because you don't you've always been you see like that question I asked a while ago. How do you handle that? Almost anybody else would give me some crap excuse or something that sound
Yeah,
nice and
exactly.
sound CEO ish, but
No,
you
so
just say the truth. You
I
don't.
don't have time for
Yeah.
that, bro. And I was actually just saying to somebody today that sometimes I think I'm too open and transparent, because um, you can get in trouble when people know too much, right? So yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Why don't I know that?
yeah, um,
Ask my rent.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, citizens response JAs. It's been amazing. It's been an honor, honestly. And I've realized from CRJA that like volunteer work is hard. It's
Yeah.
it's it's I'd say it's just as hard as running a company. It's really hard because especially like this is I'm really really passionate about it, and
Hmm.
I just want to support the government and support the efforts to fight COVID, and it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah, boy, I'm proud of you to see. You said citizen response, and I didn't try and load that up. But there's an account people can see other than your account on Twitter, which is in the show notes, guys. So you can look up. It's Manish Water. But is there a Twitter account they can look at to see some of these
Um,
things?
we do have it, but we haven't been manning it. But there's the website. Most we post the updates on the website, so it's
Oh, that's good.
citizensresponseja.com.
That's citizens response
Response JA.
ja.com.
Yeah, man.
All
And
right, and
and
that's
of
in the
course
show notes
it's
for anybody
it's yeah,
listening.
it's not just me, guys. It's a whole team. So we have, like I said, we have a main group that has around 40 people. So engineers, doctors, we have lawyers, microbiologists. Oh yeah, we're doing the salted face mask, sewn mask as well. So we have microbiologists,
Mm.
we have fabricators, just like overall, just passionate volunteers, accountants, because now we're getting donor funds, so we have to ensure that the accounting is sorted out and transparent. And it's just a team of people just working like really hard at trying to support the fight as much as possible.
Mm. I
Yeah.
like that. I mean, congrats to you, Lauren, for helping put that together and so quickly. If memory serves me correctly, I mean, I remember seeing on Twitter the video of you saying the 3D printing. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a nice idea. And then
Yeah.
boom, two tools
Yeah,
all over
it
Yes.
the globe.
it's like, well, that escalated quickly, like literally. Yeah, things it's a mushroom. So we're just 5 weeks in, and we've accomplished a lot. I'm really really happy and proud of the team for that.
Oh, yeah. And that don't take what I say lightly. You literally helped and helped form and lead an effort that increased the ventilator count in the country by
Mhm.
50%. That's not a light thing. You could I mean I can say it since it's not you saying it. To me that sound like you I mean you may have saved a life. I'll
Ah,
say that. You may have
Yeah.
not
saved
even
one
one.
life.
Trust me.
And that's been the mission, like
Hmm.
we just want to save. Hopefully we save with what we're doing. Well, I hope we never need the ventilators that we're building, but if it does come to that, then I hope we will save some lives.
Well,
You're right.
I have yeah, happy to hear that, and I have to see that sort of impact, and I know how good that impact can be as somebody who tries to do a little bit of charity myself. I know how that
That's
like
good.
I like impactful charity. You know, it's one thing when you just give her money and
And
it's
we
to
got
a
Yeah,
cause.
yeah.
Yeah, you
yeah.
don't really know. It's
Yeah,
another
man, and
thing
like
when
and like when we go to like the handovers at the hospitals, I went to Bustamante last week, and the doctors were just so appreciative of the PPEs that we were handing out, and like it was a special moment for me, because they're on the front line, and um, they're risking their lives for us, and they were just really appreciative of the stuff that we handed over to them, and that was good. So yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's really impactful. I remember, shout out Mia Soti, Dr. Johnson. She messaged me one day and said, "You can't get that guy that was on the podcast, Larren.
Yeah.
You can't make one of them there for me." Because she's
Really?
yeah, I think she's at UE. But she was
Mm,
scared at the time, you know. She's like,
mm-hmm.
they didn't have enough stuff. So she's like, "You can't." I said, "Boy, I'm working on it, and I'm sure. I'm sure I'm getting like 10 of those requests right now."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There was 2 days that I had to turn my phone off. It was just overwhelming. Um,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. I
But
can
yeah,
imagine,
that's
yeah.
citizens' response, JA. We still need all the help we can get. We still need volunteers. And post COVID, who knows what we'll decide to tackle next.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, what if it's outside of possibly saving lives and
Mm-hmm.
keep protecting the healthcare workers. One of
Mm-hmm.
the things that I am I'm hoping will come out of this, and it kind of already has been a side effect, for want of a better word, is I strongly believe that Jamaica has the talent and the brain power and the skill sets for us to become self reliant. Um, you know, and we have some very competent and capable, not just engineers but manufacturers locally. So like, I mean, if you guys were to look at the booth that we built, is top notch
Mm-hmm.
and it's even better than what we saw. So we saw one from South Korea and some from Japan, and we modeled it off of that. And what we built is really really top notch. And yeah, it's and the government at the time, they were looking to import, trying to source um,
Mm-hmm.
all of the stuff that we're providing, and we've built them locally.
Mm-hmm.
And from a manufacturing standpoint, I'm very proud that we were able to do that and be self-reliant. Because to date, 72 countries have imposed export
Like we lost him for a second
Yeah, I was
there.
in for a second there. Yeah. All right. I was going to mention that, about the
Hello.
exporting. All right.
Yes, Larry.
Yeah,
You
man.
said
Sorry, yeah,
Sorry.
you're back.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying that yeah, to date, 72 countries have imposed export restrictions on corona-related supplies.
mm-hmm.
Um, so the need for self-reliance is paramount. And what we've been able to show the government is that you don't need to always look overseas for the solutions. Like we have some really really bright guys. The guys that on the team, the engineers on the team, like they blow my mind every day. They
And
yeah, the things that they come up with and how quickly they ideate is amazing. And we build shit, like we're just building.
mhm.
Yeah,
So I mean, name them. You mentioned them before. You mentioned two people, Yakini, I think,
yeah,
and
Yeah, key
Tyler.
knowledge,
Yakini. Yeah, so Yakini, Wallen Brand, Tyler Costa started out with the group, but Ali Matalon has been very, very instrumental in just helping us to get things moving. She's a
Hmm.
real superstar. And then like I said, there's over 40 people in the group. They're all listed on the website, so just in case anybody wanted to see who they were. But yeah, it's just a group of really, really good, passionate Jamaicans.
I like that. And of course, people listening, they might be wondering, how can they help? How can I'm listening to you at home right now, lockdown. How can I help you?
Yeah, so on the website there's a form at the bottom of the page or somewhere on the page, and you just put in your information, say how you can help, and somebody from the team will reach out to you.
I like that. I see listed here because I'm looking on the website. It says you need access to 3D printers, spools, sheets of laminate,
Yeah,
um, and that's usually found in like standard printers,
yeah,
and financial and any other kind of resources. So
yeah,
you guys need money, you need equipment, and you need talent.
yeah. So the private sector they've recently come on board, and we're grateful for that.
Hmm.
Also, Joe Matalon, who through the ICD group,
Hmm.
he's given us resources in terms of people. So he's given us an entire admin team, from his CFO to his head of HR to comms people, that we have meetings every day at 6 o'clock, just to
wow.
deal with administrative stuff. Because it's a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
like that. I hear it. Now I hear in the CEO Larren. That's, by the way, that's the answer to the question how to handle it. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
handle it through meetings and so on. So
Yeah.
6 o'clock every single day, admin just for the project.
Just for the
Mm-hmm.
project. And we have, like I said, there's 20 odd other subgroups. So there's a ventilator group, the mass group, the print, there's a customs group just to get stuff in. It's just, yeah, and I'm in all of them, and I just try to coordinate and make sure that,
Delegate.
yeah, delegate and with the support of Ali and Yakini and the other guys. Diaka Morrison has been great as well. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
I like that. I like that. So people, if you want to help with that, citizensresponseja.com, and I listed the things that they needed, but they always need money. I don't see anything here about how to contribute money though. How do people donate it?
Um, that should be there. I'll have to go check on that in the website group. um, I'll pose the question, but yeah, um, I know if if you fill out the form and you say you want to donate, then they'll give you the account information and all of
Ah, okay, okay,
it.
that's one.
Yeah,
Okay, no problem. And if you guys need any help with that, that I can give, let me know. I'll link you off here, see if I can put a smalls towards it.
nice. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you because you're helping out.
Yep.
I like seeing that impact. So you have very quickly started to show really the impact of one man. So anybody thinks that one person can help,
Yeah.
so they can there. You see, a meat bro got off it,
Here's it.
thick and fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I did
I
actually.
like I like that. What was that experience like for those of us who haven't?
Um, so I have to be very careful about this type of conversation because I'm quote unquote a pollster, right? And
Yes.
it's yeah. So
Hmm.
I try not even to like um posts from politicians.
Either, yes, I
Yeah,
understand that. I
from either
understand
side.
that.
Or if I like something from, let's say, Floyd Green or Nesta, then I go like something
Hmm.
from Imani or Peter Phillips or something. No, because yeah,
Yeah, man. People will do
people,
that.
yeah, people look at that. I remember like so Floyd Green and I went to Monroe, right? Brethren,
Hmm. Big
his
up
part,
Floyd Green.
yeah, man, his party
Oh wow,
is in him having birthday party every January, and I always go. And this
in
year
Saint Elizabeth.
in
Yeah.
Saint, yeah, it's a good trip.
Yeah.
With like most of the
Hmm.
time we get a bus, Virgin them go down. But this year I just couldn't go because can't afford for a picture to get taken or just somebody to sit me there and say, "Yo, you're labor right," you
Yeah.
know.
That's true. That is true. That is true, especially with the impending elections. And it would be
Exactly,
said.
Yep.
exactly, and it's
Yeah.
I like that annoys me, you know. And I've Virgins on the other side as well, and I just don't hang with them. I can't fire them, and
Yeah.
I just have to
And
be very careful.
but that's good. I mean, that's the downside of it. I understand that so much because there's things, even Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
Yeah,
can't
mean,
stop.
yeah, you can't say what you used to.
yeah.
Twitter 10 years ago and Twitter no. Yeah,
Sensitive.
you can't.
It takes me minutes to construct a tweet, and I have to
Mm-hmm.
like sit down and be vicarious. I'm like, all right, so if I say I wrote on a piece of paper, are three huggers going to come at me and be like, yo, why you writing something on paper? You know? No, that's literally I think about all of that before I tweet.
That is 100% true.
Yeah.
I noticed that you are doing 3D printing. Do you know what that does to the environment, Larry?
Exactly. Yeah, like I just wait. I know that my Twitter faux pas is going to happen very soon.
Ah,
You just can't go around it. I think like I'm going to fall out of the good graces of Twitter very soon. I just know
Yeah.
it.
it's
Because
it's the truth.
somebody misunderstands something.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. Or them
It's out
find
of
something that you
context.
said.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You 7 years ago you said.
yeah.
I'm tired of them
Is
gal.
it?
What did you mean by gal?
Yeah, yeah. I just know it will happen soon, and I just trying my best
Oh
to
God.
to. I've deleted so many tweets. Wrote them and just say, "Oh, I'm not even about this now, about the
Yeah,
post.
I know that
Just leave
feeling.
it alone." Yeah,
Oh boy, I know exactly what you mean. I just make up my mind early already. Still say, here what when they come cancel, they cancel and done. You know,
Yeah,
but the business, but the business. I just try to do my good and move forward.
yeah.
Eh, But in case I've said anything and you guys are playing this in the future to say he is unrepentant, I want to state that I am repentant and I am sorry
For
for
whatever it is.
whatever it was.
Ditto, ditto. You know,
Oh my lord,
we're all humans. Shit happens. You know, we make
believe me.
mistakes. Yeah, yeah,
So let me use that nice opportunity to segue then. So you've been doing a lot of stuff with
yeah,
citizen response,
yeah,
and of course, as you mentioned, that you are a pollster. I don't use a pollster in air quotes because you are a pollster.
Mhm.
You just happen
Well,
to be the new
The
breed
new
of it, and
age.
it's
well,
yeah,
BlueDot is not Larren Peart, and I was very careful to not make it, the Larren Peart polls, as is customary with the other gentlemen that do it or the other people that do it.
yes. In the
Yes.
past, yes,
Yes,
that's
so
true.
it's not the Larren Peart poll, it's the BlueDot polls, and we have a team of very competent, people who in and of themselves are good statisticians and pollsters, and it's a
Hmm.
team thing, it's a BlueDot thing, it's not a Larren Peart poll.
You know,
That's right.
I was thinking about the other day when BlueDot is the Corona safe poll, Corona
Yeah,
safe poster
that is true.
Yeah, we've yeah,
with everything
yeah,
that's going on right now
yeah,
in the kind
with
of coming
Communal.
election.
Yeah,
Hmm. And it's
yeah,
not just an election because Larry, I'm charging you for this ad. So it's not just an election. If you think about it from a company perspective, he can offer very quickly insights into a large customer base
yeah,
very quickly, very safely,
yeah,
and for I assume here lower. Not as I assume because I spent years as a researcher myself. I
yeah.
know for a fact that it is cheaper than
Much
traditional.
cheaper. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
But if I
and
told you,
much.
don't hurt my feelings, Randy.
Oh,
From a company perspective, and that will come into certain things that we discuss later.
okay. Okay, but it is a major thing because now everybody's home,
Yeah,
and we spend a lot of time in sheltering in place,
yeah,
on lockdown, and yet still Lion can pull insights from everybody
yeah. We a client reached
safely.
out to us yesterday morning, and they wanted some quick insights, and we did the questionnaire, sent to them, they approved it, and we got 600 responses for them in
Whoa.
like a hour and a half.
Wow,
Wow.
and this is through your platform that you
This is through
mentioned on your
Communal.
last episode.
Yeah, Blue Dot Communal. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, see, I give you the free ad. Say it again, man. Tell the people
So
where to go
yeah,
for it.
stop. The ad is, this is the pitch. The pitch is, stop wasting your opinions on Twitter for nothing. Go to blue.communal.com and get paid for your opinions.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Dragged. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Twitter don't pay you like I do.
Yeah, Twitter don't pay you for your opinions, but I
That's
do.
that's true.
You
But
can't
That's
sue,
true.
Blue.dot
but
does.
for me, no one cancel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So blue.communal.com. And
Yeah,
it is the last thing I saw to it was, I mean, I paid attention to the financial survey.
yeah,
I was linking Learn for a in-house every make a survey, There's a
yeah. You
specific
didn't.
one,
You
but we,
didn't
we
get
can
back to me.
talk. Yeah, that is on me. Apologies. But
Yeah,
the strength of that sort of platform is unmatched. And I think now is the time. I think Corona really is representing a shift in in the entire world, but also in the Jamaican landscape. Look how quickly everything has opened up.
Yep.
yeah,
Delivery KFC
yeah,
in my lifetime.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Banking open up. You can suddenly do all kinds of things online. Yeah. And when I think about it now, when I think I said it on the last episode that Larry, I think very quickly you'll be putting your place planting your flag in the arena of data analysis and local
hmm,
polling. But I
yeah.
can say no. Well, 5 months into 2020, when I think polling, when I think data, I think Blue Dot.
Yeah.
I hope so, and I hope I've been like, I've been very, very. I don't know if I spoke about this on the last one, but I've been very, very intentional about building the Blue Dot brand, right?
Hmm.
From being a nobody, a country youth, a poor country youth, or no, I'm not say poor. And not a JC or a KC or a Campion Youth. I'll
Whoa,
say that in
whoa,
Kingston.
whoa! You just get
Uh,
a whole heap of enemies.
with the no, but there are like connections that you get
Yeah, man, that
just
that
by
old boy network is
yeah,
strong,
yeah, yeah,
and the old girl network is strong for like
yeah,
Immaculate too, and see
yeah,
Andra here.
yeah. So yeah, I've just been very intentional about building the Blue Dot brand. So like I remember even in the early days when I just started, if I went to, and I still do it, if I go to, let's say I went to Larner's for lunch, um,
Hmm.
to get lunch, instead of giving them my name, I would give them Blue Dot. So they'd literally call out Blue Dot, and then sometimes I would wait, like go on like I do here and just make them call Blue Dot two more times so people would hear it. Um, and then I just go collect it after that. But there's one funny time where I did that one day, and then I went to a pitch the day after, and this lady was like, I know I've heard that name before, and like she just couldn't place it, but I know I'd seen her the day before at a lunch spot, you know. But like sometimes you just need that does little bit of familiarity, um, and like somebody just like even if they can't place where they know you from or where they heard the name from, it just give it this little bit of edge, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, so I've been very intentional about building the brand and just trying to make it easier for me to not have to um, introduce myself or introduce the company too much. At least some people, I'm hoping by now, in the respective spaces that we want, would have heard of us by now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I hope so, but if not, they're going to. Every time I turn around, I see if it's on TV, is social
Yeah,
media.
man. I work the PR, man. I work the PR. I
Yeah,
work the
well, do it, do it. That's what good CEO is supposed to do.
PR.
Uh and of course, you mentioned having to manage all these projects, but
Yeah.
and people, if you don't know, we keep referencing his last episode. Larren was on, off the top of your head, what the episode number was.
No, no, no.
I mean, guys, go to podcast.everymickle.com and click episodes and look for the one that says, I think the dot is what
The
it's
dot.
called.
Yes, the dot.
Yeah, in my mind, I just call it the Larian episode. So now I'm gonna have more now. I call it Survey Says. Oh, that's so witty. episode episode 24. Survey Says with Blue Dot Insights. And so just in case you're saying like why we keep referencing stuff, I won't ask Larian to tell him whole story again. He did give his
No.
start there in
Yeah.
that episode,
Yeah,
and it's
man.
a pretty good episode. So he details that. So now we're checking in back with him, and I'm saying that because he has done something amazing with Blue Dot since. I will give a little bit of background here. So Blue Dot started when it started, and it existed. It was being run for a while and built it up, and then he went into. You can correct me if I'm wrong here. Then he went into a sort of a partnership with SSLVC at the time. So it was one
Yeah.
of the portfolio
Portfolio
companies of
companies.
SSLVC. Yeah.
Yeah.
SSLVC has gone through its own troubles during that time, its own changes during that time, and come out of it. Not all the companies made it out, but the ones that have made it out seem to have been pressing onwards. And now we have a major step from line. I didn't want to take your shine. I'll allow you to announce it. So, although it's announced already, but since then he has.
I bought back the company. So SSL SSL yeah, I sold them 50% of my shares 20 months ago, and luckily, fortunately, I was able to purchase those shares from them about 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
major move.
Wow, major move,
Is it?
And that hurt my feelings.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
man.
it a
That's
major
a
move? It's a major risk. In
that's
in COVID times.
you hear what? Risk is the hallmark of profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all I know is
Yes.
risk. Like all I do, I just take risks. I don't know anything else but to take risks. But you
You're on
could,
the you're on the right to fight. That's all we do.
yeah, take risks. But um, what was I going to say? Yeah, you can liken it to like moving out of your parents' house in a recession.
Yeah.
Um, that's what it is because there's support that we would get from SSL,
Hmm.
being a larger company. They have cash or some cash, and
Hmm.
there are a couple of times when receivables were low, cash flow was low, and we would get payroll support from them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and no, we don't have that anymore. And I made the decision to do the buyout the week of the first case announcement in Jamaica.
Wow.
Wow. So during that time, you saw, yeah, let me tell you, that's an opportunity. You moved on it,
Yes.
man.
We can
Yeah.
imagine how you felt going into that one.
Right?
Is I'm
Right?
still I still wondering. I still have doubts. I'm just being brutally honest. I do. I mean, I believe in BlueDot and I believe in the company, but in the we lost the first week. So the first case was the 10th of March. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Within that first week, I got so many emails. If I could show them, I would, from clients just saying, "Boy, we kind of don't know what's happening. So these projects that we had confirmed with you, we're putting them on hold."
Mm.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had in the first week of March, I think $30 million worth. Yeah, $30 million worth of confirmed projects, meaning approved. They're just waiting on us to go
Mm-hmm.
projects, and we lost all, over 80% of them in the first week.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That sounds rough. Did you have to lay off? I know that's a business reality.
yeah. So we did. Like I don't know if I'm just I don't want to say soft, but uh, I'm a very considerate person, and
Mm-hmm.
like that decision to lay off was horrible.
mm.
And I mean, I said it on Twitter. The only thing that I could have done for them was, so they're still on our health insurance plan. It is costing us a decent amount of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and they got supermarket vouchers from us, or supermarket support from us. Um, and
That's also major. That's food.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm hoping we'll be able to take them back on, whenever this thing ends. But it's just never, and it's not like you find somebody for misdemeanor,
Mm-hmm.
not misdemeanor, from for
No, you're right. Yeah, for
that's the
doing
right
anything
word,
wrong.
right? For doing
Yeah.
something wrong. You find somebody in a economic downturn, in
Mm.
very uncertain times. Um, and not fired. Let me use the proper word: layoff, furloughed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a bad experience.
But I would tell you that that's a good thing. You see, if you sounded glib about it, or if you sounded
Yeah. Like you look at it
really,
like,
Yeah,
thank God I got this opportunity to do it, then that'll be
yeah,
very different. But
yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean,
it's
as a
good. It's a
KFC,
hard decision.
it's
the
a hard
hardest.
decision. It's a hard decision.
Hmm. And it should be. It should hurt.
Mm.
It
Yeah,
should hurt. It's supposed to. If it didn't hurt, that's when you have something to worry about.
Yeah.
And maybe you know what? Maybe I'm not the right person to say that because maybe I'm soft, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Feeling isn't a bad thing.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's good. It's good to hear that, and it's good to know that you're looking for the opportunity to bring them back.
Yep.
And yeah, and
yeah,
it's hard all around. You're
yeah,
just mentioning KFC.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I bought back the shares. I've acquired the 50% that SSLVC had in the company, and
Hmm.
like I said, that comes with its own benefits and its own downsides and problems. But yeah, it was a major decision. I mean, of course, I lost sleep over it. The SSL, they were very gracious in the deal that they gave. And I'm grateful to them for the support that they've given us over the past 20 months.
Hmm.
Zachary Harding, who is now the CEO, he's working really, really hard to turn SSL into a superhouse or into a powerhouse. They have some major deals coming up that when they announce them, I think the general public will be pleased. And yeah, it was just time. It was time to move on, and like what I'd said on Twitter, because um, I have my own angst with finance Twitter, right?
No, shout it out, man.
Yeah, I think I what I will say is that I notice that the members of quote unquote Twitter finance who make the most um I'm trying to be. trying to
No
be
man, talk straight.
who made the most sensible comments are those who have been in some sort of managerial or leadership position and who understand like really what it takes to run a company or to be in
Wow.
charge of a P&L, and who understands that shit happens in companies, so and deals fall through and like it like take for example, right? So in deals take months, sometimes years to come through, right?
Mm-hmm.
They so earlier we would have announced that um, Craig Hendrickson was taking a stake in the company, right? Craig is a
Mm-hmm.
great guy, like super smart, and I was he was at the time acquiring 20% of the company, and the deal went through. Um, so much so that to this day, like just this week, I was applying for some e-commerce platform at one of the banks, and they did a company search, and Craig Hendrickson's name is still on the company documents for BlueDot as a shareholder, as a 20% shareholder of BlueDot. But
Wow.
months, like literally the week when I was waiting for him to send the money over to us, right? The deal done sign off, lawyers paid everything. For some reason, I don't know, and I really don't want to get into that. He decided that he didn't want to do the deal anymore,
Back
and
out after it's signed.
yeah,
Wow. That I can understand how that might be, especially to a CEO. If you say, that's a problem I don't have to worry about no more, and then suddenly,
it
So
done.
it's
Like
right
I
back.
don't spend that money already. I hired people, I hired staff in anticipation of those funds coming in. Like put projects in place,
wow.
started doing things right, and
Mm-hmm.
and the money never came in. But I'm bringing this up because if I let's say I'd mentioned that in a prospectus, right, or I'd mentioned that at an AGM, and
Mm-hmm.
like it was something that I was sure of, like, and the less note of that is like if the money don't reach your account, it don't it don't sign it not sure. That's the lesson, major key. Um, but yeah, so the point I was saying that if I put that in the prospectus, right, or some mention it at some AGM, if I was listed on the stock exchange, it never materialized. Um, People would have been down and you said you're going to do this and it never happened.
That's why
Like
they're sometimes a lie.
yeah, and this is the type of things that finance Twitter they jump on and like chastise and you're a bad CEO and this and that and blah blah blah, and like people just don't understand. And I'm not saying that CEOs shouldn't live up to their word, but like shit happens. There's
Mm-hmm.
been projects that I have been absolutely sure that we were getting, and they just don't
Mm-hmm.
come true.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of business. I never realized, but maybe I need to pay better attention to Twitter. Um, I never even realized. No, that's a good point. Actually, let me take what I can from it and speak from my POV, because I know I can be harsh to companies. Am I? Not really. I just take it for granted that things happen and sometimes things don't. But then I understand it from having worked in companies and having led efforts. I get that. But I think maybe I join your criticism here, Lauren. But I get. I think maybe sometimes when you lean completely on the books,
Yep.
you don't remember that the books are
Bro,
a
you
paper
can't
representation of real
exactly.
life, and real life cannot be contained that way.
I
The,
made a
the,
tweet
the, Sorry, go ahead,
saying
Daniel.
made a tweet saying what came first, the book or the lesson, and it was to do with something like that. People often look at the numbers and the company to them is nothing more than just, oh, I got this balance sheet every quarter, and this is what the company is. There's no
What's
practicality.
their cash flow like? What's their cash flow like? Yeah.
There's nothing practical about what's happening in the actual company. The one that's on the street doing all the work is just, oh, I got these numbers, and that's exactly how it is. They tell the full story more, and there's nothing to add to it beyond this. So that thing was a criticism of that type of thinking, and I
Mhm.
can see it in some of the stuff said on Twitter. Some of the stuff people I've met, they don't speak as if, boy, this company is a real thing beyond these numbers.
There's so much that I mean, as an investor, you are entitled to know what's going on with the company. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Great. But there's so many things that happen day to day. Like
You just can't know.
you just can't know. And I think at the end of the day it boils down to like the CEO, like do you look at the record of the CEO, and what I will always say is like never sleep on a real and true entrepreneur.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes.
like
Yes.
They will
like
find it.
don't yeah, it is going to um they're going to rebound if it's a real grit true entrepreneur. Them going to rebound. They just
Hmm.
Of course. Well, you're a great example of that because you have bought back the company.
Exactly.
And Larry, believe it or not, well, you're on the show that is listened to, loved, and hated by a lot of finance Twitter. And I'll be straight. I'll be playing with you. A lot of what I am able to do in
yeah,
terms of analysis of companies and predictions of stock
yeah,
is simply because I don't do what they do. I don't look at the numbers and think that they're just numbers. I look on real life, and that is why I'm able to predict things. That's why I'm
yeah,
able to predict gains,
yeah,
because there's nothing in that book that tells you that, yo, this man was out one night and him run into the CEO or somebody else somewhere
yeah,
else, and then make a
yeah,
link and them say there's something there, and then afterwards I see them start doing things together and it looks like they're planning to do something that will they don't see the raise in revenue or the raise in profits until after it happened. The
yeah,
numbers can't show it until after it happened. And
exactly.
great prediction of stock prices relies on understanding the company, understanding what the real company is and the people behind it
Yep.
and what they do, not from just
Yeah,
looking at the numbers. And I'm not knocking analysis of numbers here because that is key,
Yep.
but it has to be analysis paired with real life. And I'll be playing the majority that I at least have come across or seen, especially on Twitter, are incapable of it. That's why they don't make the money, they just talk about the money. That is
yeah,
the truth.
yeah.
Yep.
And I can tell you,
um
so because I was under VC and VC was listed, I just got a small taste of it. But
mhm.
you, as a listed CEO, you live your life in quarters.
That can happen. True. That can happen.
Like,
Yes.
yes, you live your life in quarters, and that is extreme pressure. You know, one of the reasons why I was anxious to I look, I said to SSL, "Look, take me from under VC and put me under SSL the group, just so that
Hmm.
we don't have these reporting requirements." Because literally, I remember one time, twice, um, some bad results came out, and two
Hmm.
clients called and was like, "Yo, what's going on? Are you folded?" You know?
Oh,
Yeah. So it is a lot of pressure. Um, it is a lot of pressure, and people just need to understand that this, if I see, especially a founding CEO who put a lot of
Hmm.
sweat and equity or sweat equity into a company, they're not making losses because they
happily.
want to. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just that things
Yes.
just haven't materialized yet. Things take time.
Yep. I
Deals
didn't make this.
take
They didn't make this
time.
company for nothing. Like
Yeah,
we're going somewhere. We're trying to
yeah,
get there. It's not boy. I'm
yeah.
sit down. Company do it thing.
Everybody want to get rich. You list on the stock exchange, you want your stock to the well. There's
Yeah.
no reason why you're going to be joking around with that thing.
Yep.
And
Well,
end of
let me.
rant.
Yeah. No, not done yet. Not done yet. I do because I already have the bad guy tag, so I keep
Yeah,
wearing it. Hear the truth. All right. We forget that there are real people behind it, right?
yeah,
And what happens then is that because we're not paying attention to the real life things, the reality of what it is that we're analyzing, we tend to forget that, exactly like you said, nobody wants to make a loss. And two, people are not dumb. I find that to be that I will say that person that's a rampant problem in finance Twitter. That the assumption that everybody else is dumb. And I know it sounds hypocritical coming from me, right? Because
yeah.
I'm the guy who hits a lot of finance Twitter out there, right? But I don't think people are dumb for just, oh, you're just dumb. No, I actually don't think people are dumb. I take it for granted that by the time I have heard, remember, so by the time we hear about a loss, the CEO already knew about it for the last
Yeah,
Exactly.
month and a half.
yeah, and probably put things in place to rebound.
And then
Exactly.
for the last month and a half, he knew about it. But during the journey, during that whole quarter, he was saying, "Boy, things might be going bad, or this might." He might have been optimistic or something, and then something just fall through to make everything go bad.
Yeah.
He was
And
going through it in time.
exactly. He or she, and the reality of it is people are not stupid.
Mm.
So if you're sitting in your underpants on your mother's couch telling us that NCB definitely need to fix them online banking, say they
Yeah.
make billions of dollars. You think they don't know?
Yeah.
They know full well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think why Larren don't just simply have everybody's cell phone get the app and him just do
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
you came up with that in your underpants, but the guy who came up with the company never figured it out.
Yeah. The CEO
The
done
secret to
lose sleep over that plenty nights already and don't
Yep.
figure that out already.
exactly,
In
exactly.
most cases.
One of the most annoying things I've found on my small entrepreneurship journey, I was on a call earlier and it came up and I had to laugh because a friend of mine, and I remember her complaining about it years ago also. And it's that how much a CEO has to deal with being told, you know what you should do?
Yeah.
And you can't be mean to people. You have to be gracious. But I realize that people, maybe it's just me, but it is so annoying when people say, not that I don't want them to say it, but yo, you telling me this idea? I have had the idea for the last 8 years.
Mhm.
And what you're seeing is me building something big enough
Yeah.
so that I can afford to do that idea that
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
It's not magic
Yeah.
that allow me to do it. I need
Yeah.
money, time, and resources. And I'm not knocking you for your idea. I want the ideas. But don't feel bad if I say, yeah, man, thank you, or don't seem too
Yeah.
interested because I already had the idea. And then the worst part is when you do it, they might say, yeah, man, I need to tell her for do it,
Yeah.
Yep.
And you,
Yeah.
you, just, you just have to kind of take it, but I understand it must be hard. But I want anybody listening to understand this, all right? The people who do company, and Larren made a great point, and he said founding CEOs. Founding is one thing if somebody come in
Yeah.
because they're hired,
Yeah.
but a founder likely had a dream and still has that dream
Mm-hmm.
and knows more about the dream and the reality
Yeah.
than you have even figured out
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
So don't think that them dumb. NCB know that them system need work. Yeah. The JMMB know that people want to trade online in real time. JSC knows that their website is rubbish,
Yeah.
but it's a matter of whether or not they have the will, the resources,
Yeah.
or the talent or the time to do it. And
Yeah.
some of them have it and can, and some of them don't. You just need to take that into
Yeah.
account when you're thinking about it. And I also want to remind some people, you never said this line, I want it come on me, I can take the heat. I want to remind some people, especially on Twitter, on finance Twitter, that there are real people. It's a lesson I've had to remind myself when I'm annoyed. And I think they need to remember it because you often think that if people have money, it seems to think that if people have money or you think they have money, you also think that they don't have feelings.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that just like anybody else, they have feelings. And moreover, unlike everybody else, you are actually criticizing their dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's one thing
Yeah.
if I say, I don't like those shoes. But if I
Yeah.
say, Larren, what are you doing about your heavy receivables? You need to. BlueDot is a man's dream.
Yeah.
You're literally treading on his dreams. To
Yeah.
quote some poetry,
Yeah.
it's you just have to remember that. So and I'm not, and on the flip side line, I'm not letting you off the hook.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you are listed or have had shares in the
Yeah,
company,
you have
I'm
to
going
put
to
on your
question.
big. You have to put on your big boy pants and know that shit going to come, and know that you're accountable and you're held to a higher standard. That's great.
Exactly.
We know that.
But I need people to measure that criticism with a little bit of common sense. I saying that a good example is Tyrone.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the things said for Tyrone. People talk to me about Tyrone all the time,
Yep.
and it's like them say, yo,
But the
Bro,
thing is, if
things are terrible, really. And I say, yeah, it look like you're in a bad situation. But them always look angry with me because
because
you're not cussing.
yes,
bro,
exactly. So I hear
so there,
it's very nice or something, but because
there,
I'm not joining in on the criticism.
so I never wanted to mention it because there's a bias, right? So Tyrone is my virgin, and we have our little CEO circle thing where we talk about these things, but
Mhm,
like don't sleep on a real entrepreneur, right? And I can guarantee you that even especially now that the world is turning to training and
mhm,
training and not the traditional type of training um syllabus or whatever you call it.
mhm.
Like you can't sleep on a company like I create. It things just going to take time.
Well, it's funny. I mean, Tyrone's a brethren of mine as much as you're a brethren of mine. So it's not we don't talk every day, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's a brethren I talk to him, and people have heard him on the podcast. So also a great episode, and similar to you, straightforward.
Yeah.
which works for me because I'm pretty straightforward also.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm open about it. I talk about it all the time, and I say, listen, I create going through a rough time, but that's fine. It was expected
Yep.
to go through a rough time. That is what is supposed to happen. If you look on it dispassionately, it's a company that's going through a rough time, but it doesn't mean it's dead. In fact, it's very hard to kill a listed company, and it's very hard to kill a listed company that has a CEO that started that company and is still there.
Yeah.
No, I will admit some level of snobbishness in that I'm not going to join in with people and try and tear Tyrone down, because the truth is half of you don't understand even what's really happening. So why would I
Yeah.
join in with you? It's not that I don't think that things are great there. Things are bad. But fine. All right, if I tweet him and say, "Oh, Tyrone, what is going on in your company? How is revenue going?" What does that fix?
Yeah.
I have helped make his day worse. And if I'm a shareholder, how does making the person leading the company feel worse help?
Yeah.
How does putting somebody under pressure help? So I'm not saying not to put pressure, because I put pressure,
Yeah.
but the
And
pressure
you're
has
and
to
you're and you're
be,
entitled to. Like if you're on an
yeah,
AGM, you can be um what's his name? You
Mr.
can
Staple,
Yeah, you can be Mr.
or
Staple.
these days David,
Yeah. You can
David who writes for every Mickle. So let me big him up on that.
yeah. You're entitled to do that. But like I just the underlining point is like things take time, deals take time.
Hmm.
Projects take time to get off the ground. Um and that's that is what I'll say on that. I can guarantee you that Arcade will rebound. But
What yeah, I say.
yeah, it will.
Yeah, I say. I mean, I'm banking on it rebounding. I did sell my
Literally.
shares.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I sold my shares, but I will be buying back more. And I said that I'll stick to that,
Yeah.
because it's too good an idea to stop. It's an idea whose time has come, and there's no stopping an idea when its time has come.
Yeah.
But
And
I will say the Tyrone talk for when Tyrone accept the invite and come back. Come
yeah.
back, Tyrone. The people need to hear you.
Yeah. And just
And
to
that's one. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I said just to tie up one more thing. I don't want to anybody to get the impression that the relationship with Craig and us went sour. Like I said, he's a absolutely great guy. He was a client, or he's a client. National is a client of BlueDot. They loved what we did for
Hmm.
them. They decided to put in some money, and then something happened, and it just couldn't happen again,
To work
right?
out.
And it just never
Ah,
worked out, and that's just all there is to it. We
and that's just part of
That's just business
business.
sometimes.
it's just business. It's just this roller coaster shit that happens in business. Like I
Hmm.
I wish I could accurately explain how much the ups and the downs that I go through daily, with from employees to clients to getting no's to not getting projects to can't meet payroll to receivables issues to like the shit that going on now, like where we literally don't know what's going to happen in a couple months. That
Mm-hmm.
is
Right?
really stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. And it's just you have to shoulder it.
Yep.
I had said on the episode you were here at last that the workers get to go home, the CEO does not.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So people don't get it.
And
So I
and
mean,
I'm,
I'm
and
I'm
I'm
happy
not
that you.
here. I'm not here whining about it. Like nobody cares. You're the CEO. Is you pick this up on yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I'm just saying it is a lot, and I'm not going to say that being an entrepreneur is some higher calling either, because it isn't. It does take a bit of craziness, but it's
A lot
yeah,
of craziness.
um, and a lot of risk. But
Definitely.
yeah,
But that's just how it go. And you know what? I'll say you should say it, you're human. Everybody else, it being the ability to complain is one of the benefits we get of being human, right?
yeah,
And if you want to complain, complain. Because the truth is, when it's time to celebrate, everybody going to want to celebrate with
Yep.
you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about bringing, especially young CEOs on this. Just like I was saying to Tyrone, is that, yo, it is an opportunity for you to put your voice out there as a general response and get some release out there. Get some points out there, because it hard. I know it must be hard to sit down and take like a beating on Twitter and don't
yeah,
say nothing.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know I struggle with that because
hmm
I don't have no ties like that. So you
yeah,
try me, I will put you in your place. I don't care. But I can imagine being like a CEO and you can't do it. You have to sit down and take it.
Yeah.
And then you come tomorrow and somebody take it and then 3,000 people retweet it and ding ding. No, me not do it. I put it back in a place. So I give people opportunity. No man say it. And you're right. You said it in a line. When you come on, you're just coming back to Twitter, you know. Twitter is a really angry, sad place, you know. It really is. Even I when I'm there, sometimes I've looked at my own tweets and I'm like, yo, this is just negative.
Yep.
Why am I exposing myself to this?
You
But
know,
lock me up and turn off the notifications, man. It's a negative place for real, man.
People
I
just
decided
trying to
to
get the
ask what
most likes.
you mentioned. Because I've been quiet recently, boy. A lot of it has to do with looking at Twitter. I can't see the point. It's like a waste of time just being there sometimes. So I was on it.
Out.
What does it do for me? So
It's content. I get content from it, so I learn things quickly,
Mhm.
or I become aware of things quickly.
mhm.
Yes.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's good for that.
Definitely a
yeah,
benefit. Yeah, definitely.
big up Twitter though. I get a lot of support. Until I make my first faux pas, if that's how you pronounce, right?
Which you're going to apologize for right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Until I do that and I fall out of Twitter's grace, then I do get a lot of support, like supportive
Oh
comments
wow.
from Twitter. Yeah,
Yeah, man. And somebody said this to me, and I should say it. Twitter can be negative, but the truth is there are positive people out there.
yeah.
We don't pay them as much attention, and they also tend to be very quiet. So big up the positive people on
Yeah, and
Twitter.
Twitter is powerful. So Citizens Response JA started from Twitter. Me giving $250,000 to Jasmine Dean, Crime Stop, came out of
Mhm.
Twitter. Um, I made a tweet the other day about this lady that was cancer that has cancer that she needed a house. And
Mhm.
Jean Lorichin, big up Jean Lorichin, saw the tweet, called Food for the Poor, and the lady getting a house from Food for the Poor. So there's there's a lot of positive and powerful things that can come from Twitter. So big up
Mhm.
Twitter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just to kind of reduce some of the negative, and it's that the negative gets so much amplification
Yeah.
so quickly.
Yeah, man.
Um,
People love that story.
yeah, but that's another thing you mentioned, the Jasmine Dean thing that you did learn, and that's a sad story. But I hate that it has become a common story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
All
it's
right. That was
you know what I
after our
hate it.
last episode. That was yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. What I hate about it was my own. I mean, if you're Jamaican, you know it. We don't like it. We don't talk about it. We know it. It's like you see it and you go, that's sad, and you
Very
forget it
desensitized.
because, yeah, very desensitized.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I hated the reaction to it. And somebody else said to me, "Them say you don't know what it's like when somebody that you know goes missing.
Mhm.
It's even worse than a murder because you don't even know. You don't
Yeah.
know."
Yeah. Yeah. I've spoken to the family and uh yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's horrible. It's horrible.
boy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough thing, but I like that you bring it to light, and we can't avoid it because it is part of our reality until we all do something about it. And I like to say we because I have my part to play. We all have our parts to play.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's something.
I hope I've inspired somebody to just do, like, instead of just talking about something, just try and do it, and you don't have to have no holy power resources either.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I do it.
Yeah,
You've inspired me. I quietly give money to causes now. I quietly stuff where I can get impact. You know, so I'd
yeah,
rather give somebody, and not the government of Jamaica, but I'd rather give one person 10 grand
yeah,
if it can impact them
yeah,
more than I give it to
for
a
sure,
big charity.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I do small things like that.
Yeah, man, we're all
I've been
doing our own
told that
way.
yeah, I'm told I should load it up. I try not to. I don't want nobody bother me. But it's great to see, and it's great to see that it's coming out of a young person doing something for themselves and built up. Don't knock that buyback story. You know, that's Steve Jobs level stuff. You know,
Yep.
yeah, the buyback. So bringing it back to the business line.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's expensive. It was public how much you paid for it.
no, but I
It
mean
was not.
they're listed, so I'm sure it will come out soon.
It will
Oh
come out,
yes.
but you don't want to make it public.
No, not yet.
That's
You
fine.
don't. I think the Loop article kind of gave a hint. I told how much it was worth at the time, and you'd have
Yeah,
bought 50%.
yeah. We got a
But I know you
haircut. That's
spent a
all
lot.
I'll say. We got a haircut.
You got a haircut. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, then brings us to the next business question. How are you going to afford it? When are you going to list it? Let us help you with that, Larren.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, my primary goal is staying afloat. I just trying to stay afloat, trying to keep the company going for as long as possible without having to do any pay cuts or let go any people. Um,
Mm-hmm,
of course, though, like I I would have ambitions to list at some point or do some sort
mm-hmm,
of have some sort of exit maybe. Um,
mm-hmm,
but for right now, I outside of staying afloat, there's a lot of value that I think we can add not just to our clients but to the country as well, from a data analytics standpoint, and I want
mm-hmm.
to focus on that for the next couple of months, and also expanding. I've been talking about expanding into Trinidad for a while now, and I'm just going to do it. So the focus right now is to just grow our value and grow our client base and get the revenues up so that if we do list at some point in time, we can have a good um, valuation.
I like that. I like that. But remember, if ever things get too rough, there's a market out there waiting to give you some money. We can give you a quick two or three. I'll
Yeah,
give you 150, 200 million,
yeah,
quick and fast.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, and that money I'm sure will help. I'm
You
sure
think
would help.
the market would? You think like right now the market would? You think people would be willing to
Undoubtedly,
invest right now?
undoubtedly,
That's interesting. Okay.
100%. I think that you're poised in a place and space to do something that Tyrone also, to bring back Tyrone, but Tyrone also tried to do and still has a chance to do, which is I don't know, Jamaica has yet to have a Jeff Bezos CEO. When I say that, I mean a CEO who comes out from the jump and says, guys, I'm building something major. It's not gonna make you that money yet. Don't look for the money yet,
Yeah,
but stick with me.
yeah,
Um, and Jeff Bezos did that maybe 2 decades ago, and he's still doing. He did it up to his last reporting meeting.
mm,
He started off with people listen. It make I think it was 8 billion in profit. Is like I want you to sit down. You should take a seat because I'm going to spend all that back on the company. So
yeah,
you're not getting to as shareholders. But
yeah,
what he's saying there is stick with me, and I think you have an opportunity to do that. I think you could, and this is Randy's craziness here. I think you could list it even as a loss making entity from now with a realistic plan to get to profit and expansion.
yeah,
And from the jump you do it. So, of course, there'll be naysayers, there'll be
yeah,
noise makers, but
yeah.
in time you ignore them.
And
And
Corona
the
has,
people who, yeah, and Corona has made your options, investment options, very limited.
yeah,
So, I think it's a good shift in the culture that you can take advantage of and say, hey, guys, you can say, listen, it's 2020 now. We want to be a profitable regional entity in 2030.
yeah,
Mhm.
And I am doing an IPO now for the people who are interested in that and interested in listing with me. If you're looking for big profits next year and big dividends, don't buy this. If
yeah,
you're willing to stay on the ride,
yeah.
jump on. I
Has to
think
be
you can do
patient
that.
capital.
Exactly. And you
Yeah,
have to, no one has come right out and truly said it.
yeah,
When I say that, not to say that, I know there's somebody shouting at them radar right now saying, no, but it was said, Ray. I know the first part guy said it. But the truth is, because Jamaica is so profit oriented, them say it, but them also have to make it look very pretty. Tyrone had the same problem.
hmm,
He said it at the front, but he also made it look so pretty that the people who are looking at just the prettiness
yeah,
Mm.
ignored the message.
Yep.
yeah,
So I think there's an opportunity for a company to listen now and the leader of that company to come out and say, we are on a X years journey. I
yeah,
do not expect profit until this time. However, there is some value. And our thing is that let's say we're making a loss. We're going to
yeah,
make 100 million next year. And we're
yeah,
looking at the year after that to cut the loss to 50.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And if you're interested in this, you can come on and look for cap gains, but don't expect dividends until year 5.
yeah,
And then if you get good, if things work out and you're like, hey, we're paying a dividend in year 3,
yeah,
that is its own thing. I think it's time to pull Jamaica a little bit away. Not pull it away from profit, but have it think more holistically, more
yeah,
sensibly.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I think you have the chance to do that. So yeah,
I will talk you some mornings because you kind of just inspired me, you know. But I'll think about it. There are some deals that are working on. It definitely if those come through, then it would be really attractive. I think at that point in time. But who knows? For right now, though, the word is just trying to make our clients happier than they are.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not listing yet, but you are stabilizing the business, and I like that. And
We,
in time, we're getting.
yeah, we're stabilizing. So like, and we've like again, just shocks, right? So at the beginning of March, I was very sure that we were going to double our revenue for this year. So our financial year is um, July to June, and in the first 6 months of this financial year, we did our revenue from the previous year. So
Whoa.
July 2019 to December 2019, we did our entire 2019 to 2018 revenue,
Mm-hmm.
and
Really?
yeah, and
That's growth.
and based on the prospects and like just like everything that I was about to do, and you know like how I was
Mhm.
going to go hard on some new initiatives. um I was pretty sure we are going to more than double our revenue, probably do 120% in revenue. um and then Corona came, and like I said earlier in the interview, we lost like $30 million worth of projects in you know in just that first week.
Mm-hmm.
um
Mhm.
and we're just now rebounding because I think businesses are now all right. So we're going to have to live with Corona. So let's just continue. They're not in the wait and see mode anymore,
Yep.
which they were for the first couple of weeks. So we're things are picking back up now. But you know, again, that is something I would have planned for. You know, like I was gunning for it. The team was excited. We had a thermometer on our whiteboard, and every time we get a million, we tick it off. You know, we shade it in.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Like
I
it
did
was.
remember seeing that. Yeah.
We were so excited about it to make this goal. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
Corona happened. You know.
Yeah. Well,
The
it's
show
not. It's
must
not the
go on.
setbacks. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's
yeah.
like,
And
what was that, Dana?
The show
the
must
show
go on.
must
The
go
business
on.
had to realize that we can't
Yeah,
park our business until it's
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest, like the first 2 weeks in, so after the 10th of March, in the midst of trying to get this deal sorted out with the lawyers, and you know, lawyers take forever to do things. Big up Dimitri and Christian, and SSL lawyers. I was probably like functionally depressed because I just didn't know what was going to happen, and there was
Mm-hmm.
so much stress, and even like more stress now because I tell people all the time, like mental work. So I've never worked on a construction site, so I can say this: mental work
Mm-hmm.
harder than physical labor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it doesn't. It doesn't. You don't go home from it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like just the amount of strategy and like thinking and pivoting and restructuring of even prices because companies don't have so much money now, so you have to offer some little
Discount
some little discounts and some even just some break even work um
relationships.
just to maintain the relationships. And then like for me, what's been happening, and I know a lot of companies probably not even thinking about this. Well, I'm not saying I know. Maybe some companies not thinking about this. But for me, because we were so differentiated before, and like I had a certain amount of comfort that my competitors were not going to start doing the cool stuff that we're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
because of Corona, it has
Careful.
fast tracked whatever plans they had or forced them to start looking
Mm-hmm.
at things that we're doing, that we were doing from 2 years ago. So, all of the cool stuff with the technology that we have now, they're probably acquiring those technologies now, and then the playing field going level. But
Yeah,
I
but
have to
it's all
keep
Mm-hmm.
you to
ahead
the
of
leader.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't rest on that because then the thing with pricing is that if you and the next man um,
Offer the
offering the
same thing.
same service, then you only can
Mm-hmm.
compete on price. And when you
Mm.
compete on
And
price,
and quality.
yeah,
Quality,
And
yeah.
quality.
and quality,
Yeah.
when you compete on that, then it's only the customer win. It's only the client going win. So
Mm.
That's true.
so I have had to not be comfortable with the differentiation that we've had in all of the technology, the neuroscience and community and all of that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I've already had to invest in other cool stuff, quote unquote cool stuff, or other ways of doing things and new technology, just so I can again be ahead of
Maintain the edge. Yeah, man.
the
Makes
competitors when
sense.
they catch up to where I was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or pre-corona. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been like just a constant like thinking and paranoia and just being worried and like just consistent perpetual strategizing and thinking
And doubt. I know that
and
the
doubt
doubt.
and so
Yeah.
much doubt and so much doubt.
Well,
Like
if I can help you with an external view, Lauren, I have had. I mean, like I said, as a researcher for a couple of
yeah,
years, and I've used some of the big guys, and I can tell you this one advantage that you do have, even if the big guys come with what you have done, I don't trust them the way that I would trust you.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that because I know you. I'm saying that because at the end of the day, they have. Here's a great example that we can mesh the two things. Then I started trading with JTrader.
yeah,
He's never used any of the old systems. I started trading with the old systems. I remember when Moneyline started. Then I knows JTrader in a way that I don't,
yeah,
even though I know it really well.
yeah,
But it's just second nature to him because he has always used it. In the same way, you have always done that. You started this. So even if somebody have the money to come and follow you, them
yeah.
don't have the understanding
Well,
to
that's true. Yeah,
really do it. So you are
yeah,
way ahead.
yeah,
At the end of the day, if I'm sitting in my board meeting and we have to do a survey and the question is, do we use XYZ or we go with BlueDot? I'm going with BlueDot.
Yeah.
What the hell those guys know about getting tech to use and get opinions, and moreover, them not get things right.
I remember
Really.
they were forced into it, So you doing it because
Yes,
boy, I have a passion for this. This is what I know. This is what I want to do. Versus boy, Corona liquid, we need to find some other way to make money.
yeah,
exactly,
yeah. Well,
exactly.
thanks
It's
for
the
that,
difference
guys.
between the shelter you
Yeah,
find and the home that you built. You're way ahead, my lord.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, and I was serious.
yeah.
I would put money in that company if allowed, and I know I'm not the only one.
Well,
Speaking for
I
me,
mean, you put some thoughts. You put some thoughts into my head, Randy. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, I'm there. If you want to hear the thoughts again, let me know, man. I don't do the consultancy as much. I do it for free. But if you want the view, I give the
Yeah,
views for free, and I give the help for free if you want. I do see you have a huge potential here, and I
I
think
believe that. I think
especially
so.
once Corona stop, I think it will be very obvious too. The
Yeah,
second it's very obvious.
yeah.
There's a new age. You see, this is another example of the change in the culture.
yep. It's
Yeah,
It's Corona might actually end up having been one of the greatest things that
I
happened to
actually
shift
think it
us.
will. I think it will be.
Hmm.
I mean, outside
Yeah.
of the economic impact, which is going to be horrible, my opinion is that we're about to see a recession like we've probably never seen before. Um,
Mm.
and the health impact, if it does get to that spike point and the curve doesn't flatten, is going to be horrible. But outside of that, the prime minister has announced that um, we need to be a digital economy, and they're going to be putting steps in place to ensure that everybody has access to broadband or some sort of internet or data or Wi-Fi or whatever.
mm,
Um,
Hmm.
and only good will come from that. And businesses have realized that people don't need to be in an office to finish and do work.
mm,
And there's just a whole bunch of other. I think agriculture is going to make a comeback, which is huge for us. Um,
Hmm.
and we'll become less reliant on tourism. That is my greatest wish.
Yeah,
Um,
we said the same thing last episode. Dana and
yeah,
I.
yeah, that we'll be less reliant on tourism, and yeah, I
Hmm.
think there's a lot of good that will come out of it.
Yeah, I like that. But we can speak more on that point because that is something that we've seen in terms of, well, Dana and I have said it, the possible fallout in the economy. Because the reality is, tourism is 30% of the country's earnings,
Mm.
mm-hmm.
and tourism has now been on pause for how long has it
So
been,
long.
Dana?
It's since mid March.
Since
Well, it's
mid March.
been on
Yeah.
pause, full pause mid March, but it was slowing down from around January.
Yeah.
Yeah, slowing down
Yeah.
January, let's say halfway February, by March, April, and now we're in May. So it's almost 3 months. That's almost a third of the year without a third of our money. So Jamaica has taken a pay cut, and and there are real people behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And those real people can't consume the way they used to consume. So there's going to be an echo effect. I've actually been moving my portfolio around in preparation for a lot of those fallouts.
Mm-hmm.
It has
But it's
affected so many people. I've a virgin that drive um a virgin of a virgin that is a Jota
mm,
bus driver. The man just
mm,
buy one bus. Just
ooh,
Wow.
after a year, save up the money, buy a bus. Because tourism was booming. Like tourism was,
mm-hmm,
it was yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and like the bank come fin bus the other day.
Damn.
damn, damn.
Because he has no
He
income.
need yeah at all because no tourists to pay for it.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. Well, they
Yeah,
didn't.
that's
They
a
don't take it yet. They've been calling him and they're trying to work out something. But the point is, him don't have an income.
Mm.
true. True. And it's going to take a little while.
Yeah,
It's not starting back now, and it's going to take a little while to
yeah,
start back.
and like Mobe and Ocherius and the Grill, that like the majority of the economy is dependent on tourism.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Then and I said, what was I think? CPJ?
Yeah.
Hmm.
CPJ didn't want to do those box deals,
No, no,
Yeah, it's
no.
that, yeah, 4.2 million tourists come into this country every year. This
Yeah,
country have 2.8 million people.
yeah,
If those people aren't here to eat that nice food in the hotel, the food have to go somewhere.
yeah,
Somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, that's 4.2 million mouths of consumption. Even if it's one day consumption,
Mm,
that
Mm.
isn't here anymore. So
yeah,
to me, it's clear, and I can see why the government wouldn't say something about it yet, because you have to be careful in
yeah.
how you broach this
Right.
and how you bring it across to the people.
Yeah,
But for the regular people listening, I know, like, if you can start putting away money, yeah, put it away. If you can start, find things that are, as you say, local based.
yeah,
Find things that Jamaicans will need.
yeah.
You're right. Farming might see a return because we have to feed
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah, and like I've stopped discretionary spending. Um,
Wow.
yeah, because we literally don't know what will happen in 2 or 3 months.
Yes, that is true.
I'm not personally. I'm not seeing beyond. I'm not seeing into July right now. I'm just May, June, and when we get to June, I'll start to think about July and August.
Ah,
But things are rough.
No,
yeah,
and
yeah. Things.
the truth is that like I think I said this the last time, but we're in a bubble here. Like us in quote midtown slash uptown Kingston.
Yes,
We're in a bubble, and we might think we're not, but we're very removed from the realities
Remove
that
from
people
yep.
are experiencing right this minute.
Mm.
100%. And if you think you're not, then you're definitely in a
Yeah,
bubble.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the truth.
yeah,
If when we were talking about Twitter, you knew what we were talking about, you're already in a bubble.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
majority of Jamaica is not there.
yeah.
uh,
Because that's the content you consume, and that's your reality. Twitter. If
mm.
you're on
Hmm.
Twitter every day and you're on Instagram and you follow certain people, that is what your world is.
Yes, yeah, that is the truth.
Yeah,
That is the truth. What time General Foods open?
I don't know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you have to understand that's not where the mass of the economy is. You're saying that,
No,
eh?
Uh, Uptown feeding it too. Because you see like restaurants closing down and all those restaurants it's not poor people own them.
Yeah.
And
no.
then a lot of the people that consume from there would do the thing there. A lot of their consumers are from certain spheres. So
Yeah.
as much as some people not realizing how much they're actually feeling it, at
Hmm.
some point they must face reality. Some must reach them.
Yeah, man.
For
It's
to
like a credit
realize.
card that you ignore.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And well, the truth is, business owners have always been closer. It's,
Yep.
it's, it's so weird. Business owners have always been closer to the ground than most of the other
They
people.
have to be. Who buying
Yeah,
from them? Most of it.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
No, there's a
it's a
reality
serious thing.
that we don't even that some people facing that we can't even
mm,
fathom. Like some people literally live hand day to day.
yep.
So
The
them wake
money
up
it
in the
makes.
morning, yeah.
Yep.
Them wake up in the morning, them go buy like in certain communities you can buy one squeeze of toothpaste. Like
Them type of, yep.
you put your toothbrush through the window, and you get one
You
squeeze,
get one
and you
squeeze.
get
Yep.
one egg, and you get one little bag of oil, and you get one sausage, and one
Yep.
slice of bread or two slice of bread, and like that's it for now. And then you go hustle a little money, and then you go back and do the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I will never forget the first time I did a survey. I won't say which community I was in, but I was doing a survey. I was in a rough community. And that's when I knew that you could buy chicken skin.
Wow, I didn't even know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Buy chicken skin. If you spend $10 more, you can get ketchup.
Oh, you mean as a yeah man, yo
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I've
a regular. That's like a snack.
yeah
Mm.
If you have the little money, yeah.
yeah. There's this
Yeah.
place in
Yeah.
Ochi back in when things was rough that you go there. I would go there just to buy dumpling and curry gravy.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was the best thing actually. You just
That actually sound good right
yeah
now.
man, you just go buy some one fried dumpling and curry gravy, and you're good.
Where is that place? You have link me to that place. Cause that sound good
It's
right
called
now.
Remiki in Ochi.
There's a
Yeah.
place of you.
Oh,
There's a place of you. They sell the best fried dumplings, and we used to go there in the morning and buy fried dumplings with thing there with gravy.
yeah.
But to me,
And
that's a thing there. To me, that's a snack.
yeah,
Something
and
you
that's
like
But
to
to
not
eat.
even.
somebody
I'm not
else.
even trying to make that sound like that struggle food. That's like
Mm.
some people can't even do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And bring it back to reality. That is actually why Jamaica couldn't really do a full lockdown because
cannot,
yeah, some people just cannot lock
Yep.
down. Literally cannot lock down.
cannot.
But
Yeah.
you
You have
tell a
people
older
who
man say him
Crime.
care load today.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, people who their investment is cash fat. That's the
Hmm.
simple reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. The extra $20 I make me put in every day and maybe once every week I win
Yeah.
Yep.
off of the 20 and look at extra buy me an extra craving or two.
Yeah.
And that's just how them live.
Yeah.
You have to understand that in terms of doing your reality. I think about those things. I think about
Yeah.
projections as stocks. So if people want to know why we're having this conversation, not just that we care about the country, but it comes right back to business analysis. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that man who used to smoke 3 cigarettes can only smoke one,
Mhm.
that being said, 2 cigarette sales gone, right? If he used to drink,
Everybody like him.
yeah, them just down. The kids used to be at school. Them used to drink cran water.
Yeah.
They're not in school for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And mommy not buying that to bring home. So
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it's something to consider along those lines. But what other on a random data you can throw at us, Sir Larren?
Yeah.
I think we need to start call you for make you come in and give us the data. I know whatever your next big
Um,
survey is.
I should have prepared. I should have looked at some of the studies that
Yeah.
we did recently.
And no pressure, no really. What? Because I know you will have something post Corona
Yeah.
that everybody will be interested in, meaning something about what people feel about the
Where
Corona thing. I
where
know you did do one asking some questions. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
so we did a part. We have a we've well one good thing that has come out of this is that we've partnered with Capri, so Damian King and Dr. Diana Thornburn. And we did some
Mhm.
interesting studies. We did two. We're about to do another one for them. But at BlueDot, we're about to do a massive what we call the new normal study.
Mm.
A comprehensive study on because consumer behavior has changed, right? And it has changed uh, more drastically than you think. And how companies would have marketed to their consumers before, they can't market to them the same way now. That's
Mhm.
Yes, that's true.
that is a fact. Like we did a little Easter bunny study the other day, and I think it was, don't quote me on this, I'll probably post it on Twitter after,
Hmm.
is 30 or 40% of the people who we polled um, either A, didn't buy any Easter bun this year, or two, they would have gotten it from the company that they work for and they didn't get it.
yeah.
Mm. True.
And this was just 1 month after the first case, right?
Yeah.
And one thing we need to realize is we're just 6 or 7 weeks into this. When we're
Mm.
almost at 2 months now, 2 months into this first case has been announced, and already companies have laid off staff. The government that
Yep.
has to go back to the IMF. Um, people start suffering already, and we're just 2 months in.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
It's going to require a real restart.
yeah, or we need to understand that this thing can get worse, and we're probably in the best of it right now.
Mm.
Like
Oh,
right now, we're in the best of it. I don't want to be no,
Mm.
like
Harbinger of doom.
harbinger of doom. Right, perfect word, harbinger of doom. But I, I hoping it don't get that way. But I think most of us are being a little naive to what could possibly happen and what the next couple of months could possibly be. Um,
I I agree with you.
yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah,
Like I complained about that, saying that I'm not hearing anybody talking about like what people should prepare, and I
yeah,
wouldn't like. That's why I said the point about the government.
yeah,
I do expect it to come from the government because government has to be very careful
yeah.
when they
Can
say
can
it.
ignite any panic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but for regular people,
yeah.
I see the storm coming.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're
Yeah.
we're 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 doing we're going to start what we call the new normal study. It's pretty expansive, and at the end of it, we'll literally be able to advise our clients, and hopefully some new ones, from a very strategic standpoint. How do you know operate in this new world, and especially, like I said, consumer behavior has changed, and there are a lot of brands that people are now
Hmm.
trying because they are cheaper. And what's going to happen is that, you're going to try this other brand because it's cheaper, and you're going to realize it's not so bad.
Yeah. Right.
So why am I spending $50 more, $100 more on this tin of corned beef or whatever?
Yeah, XYZ
Yeah,
when I could get the same here, and then suddenly
yeah,
your lifestyle hasn't changed, but
yeah.
you have started saving money. Your branding has
Right,
changed.
right.
Yeah,
So
your
so the
brand loyalty has shifted.
Exactly. So the switching costs. So you have brands who have a lot of goodwill and equity, and a brand name, and just because of the equity that the brand has, their switching costs, or what's called, or churn, um,
Mhm.
is high. But Corona has removed that loyalty and that equity in us in a
mm,
in a certain way, and people are trying the lower the new packs and the other brands,
Yeah,
that you've probably
that's right.
wouldn't.
Nobody knows if you're eating cheap and clean if
Yeah,
you're inside your house.
yeah, yeah, and people going to realize that, yo, this is not bad actually.
mhm,
So why am I spending money on this? So how did these companies market to this new type of consumer is going to be different. When you the Randy, what's it called? Is it the brand profile or the persona profile? Um,
Hmm.
you would know what I'm talking about. That you have on your consumers, they have a different profile now.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
because the entire demographic
yeah,
has changed and the taste has changed. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it really is.
yeah,
Well, you see that? That's what I'm telling you that you understand why I say that you have an advantage over anybody else.
mm,
Because right now, competitors is listening to this trying to make sure they can sound like how you naturally sound, because you get it and your team gets it
yeah.
because it's what you know.
We
You're
we
primed for it.
we 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 saw the need to do this type of study from early on, but we couldn't do it because it was too early.
Mm.
So now that we're
But no,
sure that the attitudes have changed and the lifestyle has changed and the behavior has changed, then we can do it, and then we'll follow up with it, in another 4 weeks, or we'll make it probably quarterly, just to so we can map the changes, and
mm,
be able to properly inform our clients, as to how they know go about marketing to this new profile of consumer.
yeah, the new Jamaicans. Well, I know obviously this won't be completely public because it is an internal tool, but will parts of it be made public? Or
That's a good question. I
can put together like something condensed,
Yeah, we can probably summarize some of it. Yeah, yeah. Probably like media consumption has changed a lot.
right?
That is based on another study that we did. Media consumption is probably the starkest, change that we've seen, um, across
That
all.
is true.
Yeah, if you think
You're
about.
saying it, and I'm trying to remember when last I watched TV.
Mm-hmm.
Or listen to radio in a car.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I used to listen to a lot of radio.
Media consumption has changed a lot, a whole lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
he said on a podcast.
yeah,
You said that, and I'm acting surprised, but I'm done. I look on the stats all the time. We get thousands of listens. If I got 2,000 listens in 1 month,
yeah,
it would mean that something has gone wrong,
mm,
Mm.
yeah,
right? And I think about it, and we haven't been doing this for a year yet.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a low number for us.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah. So how
we
how
really have changed.
how people consume content has changed. So I'll probably post that for the general benefit of everybody. When we do it. Um, but I mean, just to nail a point, like monitoring consumer behavior is extremely important. So one of the things that we, and this is outside of Corona, mentioned it
Mhm.
on a live at a conference the other day. Um, we were looking at some data last year and some
Mhm.
supermarket data, and we realized that the what is called the average weight of purchase decreased for the
Mhm.
supermarket, which is essentially the basket size, or in layman terms, people stop buying. If people used to spend $50,000, they're now spending
Mhm.
$10,000, and this is last year's data all across supermarkets. So the
Oh
average
wow,
weight of purchase decreased, but the frequency increased. Right?
that's what I was about to ask if the incidence has gone up. But wow,
Yeah.
that's good.
So the frequency increased. So supermarkets have been winning from last year. And so the client, the supermarket chain that hired us, of course, we had to look into it some more, and it was because of the plastic ban. And if you think about it, no, it makes sense because you don't have a bag, you go into the supermarket, you just pick up what you can carry in your hand,
Mhm.
but you go back 2 or 3 times a week because of that.
Mm.
Ah,
You see what I'm saying?
so
So,
yeah.
so
Interesting, actually.
yeah, so now you go. So let's say you used to go to the supermarket once or twice a month. No, you're going to the
Mhm.
supermarket 4, 5, 6
Or
times a month, and that's
has the
and that's six. So
has
their top line, their bottom line has increased because
mhm.
it's more opportunity for them, and the strategy that we and the supermarket chain implemented. I can't speak specifically to what it is, but
Mhm.
what you need to do then is to increase the opportunities to purchase those and get those impulse buys in.
Mhm.
So you're going there to pick up one item normally, you're right,
Mm,
but there's the chocolate, there's the all of those other things. So even though
yeah.
the basket size or the AWAP, aka average weight of purchase, decrease, because the frequency increased, their sales, their revenue increased.
Mhm.
Plus, they were able to sell more. They started selling bags that they have a they have a new SKU that they never had in 2018 because they're now selling your bags.
Mhm.
Um, and the frequency of the visits increased.
That is true, at least true for me anecdotally. What I
Yeah, I
like is
forget.
that you can.
I have like 20 bags that I keep forgetting to carry. No joke.
Yep,
Yeah,
I've never carried one.
yeah,
I have never carried one to the supermarket.
yeah.
The closest I've come is I carried it in the car once, and I went in without it. And I was going to go back out for it.
And then
I remember my inside.
yeah,
So they're selling bags like
yeah.
crazy.
So they've added a new SKU, and they've yeah they're winning.
Yeah, I like that, and that's direct evidence of data
That's data. That's data mining.
impacting.
Mhm.
Yeah, and impacting a company.
Yeah,
Targeted marketing.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
Right.
like when you get those insights now, is what do you now do? When you have that insight, what do you now do to either still increase the average weight of purchase for the frequency of visits, you know? But anyways,
Mhm.
that's the stuff BlueDot does, guys. Please tell your please tell your bosses.
I'm definitely charging BlueDot for this.
Yeah,
But yeah, well, the bosses are listening because I mean, I pay hard attention to the data too, and anecdotally, things that come across to me or people talk to me, they tell me who they hear it from sometimes,
Nice,
and it's
nice.
good. A
Okay.
lot of people listen. I didn't know that, so I'm proud of that. I hope more people will listen and we'll link line, link Blue Dot. If you're not the head of a company or whatever, you're just trying to make some money. There's
Yeah,
bluedotcommuna.com.
yeah.
And it's in the show notes. And if you are running a company, you're in marketing and you're trying to find the best bang for your now limited
Mm-hmm.
buck, or you are running a company, you want to know where to put your limited arrows, less shotgun, more
Yeah.
sniper.
Mm.
There's Blue Dot. I'd personally swear for them having seen their work.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's not off a bridging thing.
Thanks,
Not a
thanks.
bridging thing. I have seen their work, and their work is good. They're not good, great. Uh and yeah, thanks, Larren. I mean, I don't know if you have anything else you want to tell the people.
No, I just wish everybody, all the best during these trying times, and especially to fellow CEOs or business owners, or even just people were in charge of 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 a P&L. It I know, like, it was rough, and we just have to try, like, stick together and in this together, and try and push through it. Like, it's like I said, I've had my moments when I'm very sure I was functionally depressed. I was functioning, but my headspace was just not in the best space at all. But
Mhm.
it's how you get out of it and rebound, and then start putting things in place and brush yourself off. And we're only
Yeah,
human, right?
I like hearing that. I like that, and I like that you're speaking openly about things like that,
Trust
depression.
me.
Jesus. Yeah,
Enough people walking
I
around
mean,
depressed, and, like, you don't even know, bro. Trust me.
yeah, I didn't know that I could have anything like depression until you look back and you say it's something about our generation, Line.
Yeah,
When I've been watching the Jordan documentary, The Last Dance,
yeah,
and you should watch it because one is a reminder of when we were younger and just how goddamn, like, he was just unstoppable. Like, you knew,
yeah.
like, Bolt really was like him. Like, that when he
Nice.
got out there, like,
Yeah,
I don't know how it's going to go, but I know I'm going to win. And it also reminded me of just how we like mental health was invented in 2015. Right? It
yeah,
never existed in the 90s.
yeah,
So, like, us kids who came up during that time,
yeah,
the idea of depression,
yeah,
anxiety.
yeah, man.
What is anxiety? You
Yeah,
anxious? What? But what? Like,
bro.
we don't have that. So to hear you now saying it, I think it's good. I think other people, I think our CEOs should say it, because what you do is stressful and it has a mental load. And
I remember, like, telling people who would tell me that they're depressed. I remember telling them to snap out of it, and I feel so bad right
wow.
now because it's not something that you snap out of. It's a real chemical thing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
It seems silly. I don't know, Dana, if it seems silly to you hearing us say this, but to us, it's like a new. I remember I was saying something. I was saying to a friend of mine, I was like, yo, I just feel like I know I have this to-do list
yeah,
and there's all these things on it. I
yeah,
was like, as I do three, I remember five more. I
yeah,
don't ending. And I pause and go, hold on, is this anxiety?
yeah,
And she's like, well, you feel like this all the time? I was like, only when I'm awake. And she said, well,
yeah,
yeah, that's anxiety.
yeah,
I don't, it's not a real thing to me. So our generation really is like we have to learn. We just a learn.
Mm.
yeah.
We just a learn. So it's really, I'm happy to hear that. And I'm happy to hear. And like you'll see, we use it. We use it. Just here's proof. Dennis Rodman was found in a van with a rifle
Wow.
about to kill himself.
Hmm.
You know what his team said? Trade him.
Yeah,
Literally, that was the 90s.
yeah,
Trade him.
yeah.
Yeah, we just mental health invented in 2015, and thank God.
But like, I mean, not to extend the length of this, but I was thinking about this the other day, right? So when we were growing up, we had a lot of macho role models, like super, quote unquote, superheroes, or not superheroes,
Yeah, yeah,
but we had
yeah,
Schwarzenegger, Stallone,
yeah.
Bruce Willis,
Everything was bad
Van
man thing.
Damme.
Yeah,
Yeah, like real
yeah.
Batman show, like gun show, like, and those were like, we had some real macho men.
Robocop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you see me, and it was tough. Like, we had to be tough, and we wanted to be Van Damme,
yeah,
like Schwarzenegger, and
yeah.
thick on, so, and those were the quote unquote like male figures that we had in our life, outside of Uncle
Yep.
Phil and Bill Cosby, but it was
Yeah.
them. But
Yep.
I was thinking about it from the flip side now. Like these kids now, like they don't like who is that real man that them have, like
LeBron. LeBron,
I
who is the
guess
greatest teammate ever, is into, yeah, they don't have that. They don't have that.
no, like
And I don't know that that's a bad thing.
well, I don't know the super like I think about super like Peter Parker is a little scrawny kid,
Yes.
just
Yes. That is true.
saying. But anyways, yeah, random thought.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't know that it's not bad, right?
Yeah.
Because even when I'm looking at some old cartoons, you can find them on YouTube. I was looking at the old, all of our cartoons were really rough.
Yes, there were.
And now looking at them now is different. I'm happier that the newer generation hopefully is more in touch with that stuff. Yeah, it's just a thing. I don't know. It was just about that Jordan documentary and Rodman especially that
I should
spoke
watch
to me
it.
because in the 90s, yeah man, in the 90s Rodman was weird. Now I'm looking at Rodman and it's like it's just an emo kid with blue hair.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah,
Who's
yeah. But he was an
that's
outlier. He was an outlier.
yeah, yeah, back then
Yeah,
weird. No,
you're
it's
right.
just that's just little. I don't know what are the little
Yeah,
rappers.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's a good shift. It's a good shift, and I think in times of crisis, a good shift can happen. And
Yeah.
to tie it all up, I'm happy that at least we can show a part of the good shift happening
Mm.
through BlueDot, through Lion and for Jamaica. Yeah, and in spite of the bad things, we did talk about how toxic Twitter was earlier, and I cuss off some people. So if you're still here,
Yeah.
let me try and put my one
Yeah.
light out there. I want to big up at least one person, Mrs. Kerry Ann Morgan at Patriotic Jam, who is
Yeah,
always
man.
nice and supportive on the
Yes.
timeline.
Yes. Of me
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah,
big up.
she's really I don't know if Kerry. I hope you're listening to this. She says things very lightly or quietly, or she might send her one message. And I don't know if somebody sent her, but sometimes it's the right time. She said the right time, the right time. So I remember one day I heated, when me heated it rough, because nobody can stop me. And I just got a DM. I don't read the DM. I told her thank you, and I just put the phone down. No tweets went
Yeah.
out, no thread, no
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
and it all worked out. So Kerry, thank you very much. You're a light in the storm. You're a part of the silver lining.
Nice. Nice. But thanks, guys. This was fun. I enjoyed.
No
I
Sure,
problem.
enjoyed the
thank you.
conversation.
Yeah, thank you. And when, like we said last time, when you did that big study, I mean, I'd like to be able to button up the corona issue. So when you did a big study, we invite you back and see if we can have a panel and we talk completely about it and how it ties into the market. We haven't forgotten stocks, guys. Don't worry. I'm not going to pressure Larry today to pick no
No, no,
stocks because I
please.
know that are shifting grounds and I
Yeah.
don't want to get in no
Yeah,
trouble.
man.
Anyway,
Please. 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 Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, no problem, no problem. Maybe I'll contribute one because I always pressuring people. I pressure myself. Here's something I haven't said before. Then you're cool with this. I'm going to talk about that company we talked about off air. The
which one?
banana chips one.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So my again, guys, I didn't put it. Although you may have heard depending on how it is, you might have heard a disclaimer at the front. If not, definitely not a insurance salesman. Also not a investment advisor or a lawyer or anything, right? Not investment advice, but I personally think I'm looking nicely right now at Jamaica producers. I suspect that they are weathering the corona storm a lot better than people might think currently. I can't know. Just like Larren, I
The
can't
moment
see
you start.
past July. Yeah, I can't see past July with any great clarity currently,
Yeah.
but I can say that their last set of results would have been good, and I have been given. I've been given big up this person. I won't call her name, but she know herself. I was having a conversation and she shared something with me based on the conversation, just showing that juice sales in Europe have been going up. Turns out everybody's inside and eating up too much food also.
Mhm.
So I think Jamaica Producers is one of those companies that will do a lot better. I know that the experts shout at them, speak on this guy don't know what I'm talking about. Kingston Wharves is dead. Stuff still coming in. The wharves are still around, and that's one part of the business. Uh,
JP Snack. So we got a bit of insight about them from the Wisinko's
mhm.
most recent report. and they are profitable.
Not just profitable,
They're doing well.
increasing
Yeah, man.
profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that we think is paying off for them. And it's funny because we spoke about the kids not going to school and blah, 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 blah. But despite kids not going to school, snacks are still being eaten. So,
of course. I mean, for tell you.
Yeah. Wysinko has
So Wysinko,
17,000 distribution points. 17,000
yes,
distribution points across the island, and that is crazy.
yep.
And
Their network.
they're unstoppable, in
Yep.
my opinion.
yeah. Yeah. I say it anecdotally all the time, but I'm glad I have the expert here. I call him all the time the the largest and most expansive distributor in
Yep.
Jamaica.
There.
Anybody beat them?
No.
Other than government?
No.
Yeah. So I mean,
And
JP, I feel.
they have it down to the stallman, and that's their advantage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So whereas some
And that,
companies just go into the brick and mortar, like the real, they have their distribution points down to the stallman, down to the vendor. That's why water took off so much. But anyways, yeah.
and that's notable. That is your exact you're meshing the points, because that means that anything that touches the Wysinko distribution network is likely to see it. So they sold 30% of their snacks division to Wysinko, and of course Wysinko handles the distribution of it, which is why you see those at your own snacks in every gas station now and stores and all over, because it's now getting the Wysinko treatment. And then you reference the subsidiary gains that we saw.
Yes. Associate gains from share of profit in associate.
Yes, a subsidiary, I call it.
Yeah.
Sorry, associate, because it's not 50%. So I think that they're going to do great, and Wysinko reported 2.7. Am I seeing this right for the quarter? For the 9 months, is million to 1 million.
Yeah, so that means JP booking a much better number for them.
Yes.
So what Wysinko books is a percentage of what JP will be booking for them.
30% of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that says to us that if you do the math on that, I'm not going to do your homework for you guys. We'll call it one homework. But if you do the math on that, you have a good idea of what one arm of JP Snacks sales revenue would have looked like, and you can estimate the rest, which we've done. And so, in my view, I am paying a lot of attention. The next thing I'm going to get very lucky with is Jamaica producers. And I think they are definitely going to weather any corona storm. And they're also going to, and so is Wysinko. As to how well, we don't know, but for the people who are looking longer than a year or two, longer than 2 or 3 months, definitely, those might be two things you want to ask your licensed investment or financial advisor about.
Yep.
Yeah. Then I have anything you want to throw out?
I'll speak that I said it. This is based on results of 2 companies that came out, Barita and Separate. Barita, you can see that. Barita pushing. Look on the money Barita has made in the market, despite all the noise in Corona. Me and Randy were saying before that. I'm sure we have people that can quote us on this. They've seen us say it, that Barita, they somehow, some way find money, despite this Corona thing. And the market was down. It's such a big company. And despite that, their investment gain was still a large part of their heavy profit increase that they got in the last quarter result. They haven't moved much since, but because of the push from Corona downwards, price drop, profit increase. So to me, that's, despite it being worth more, the price was down. So to me, that's a buying opportunity right there for Barita.
Yeah, for the people who might be interested in that. Like, well, they're definitely going to quote us. It's the dark horse.
Oh yeah. Not us. That's Randy's one, man. Yeah, man. Randy quoted Barita as his dark horse.
Yeah. And those you can't. That's another example of tying it back into what Larren said. That's another example of a young, hungry CEO.
Oh yes.
You can't count them out.
I even mentioned it this week. I said Barita is not done yet. So even you've seen all of this going on right now, you can. So interestingly, we were looking at the numbers in our little group there, and big up Stuart South. He was looking at the cash flow statement, and he was saying he thought they sold some investments to buy more marketable securities so they can meet the obligation to their not marketable securities pledged assets, because that's a repo,
Okay.
right? So the pledged
Okay.
assets to borrow more money from the repo deal, right, for short term
Mhm.
financing or whatever. And he realized that the pledged assets had gone up by around 10 million. So, but he was thinking that, boy, they have a higher commitment to pay, but the debt and whatever. But I made him look at it properly. I don't made him as the usual suggestions of, boy, maybe you're not seeing the right thing, you're not looking at it right. And the conclusion we came to was that, hey, maybe they're beefing up to finance some deal or something, because company's still healthy. The cash they got is still really cash, despite, we had a lot of noise around, boy, it's just investment gain, we're not really cash. But here we are with them turning those investments into cash.
Mhm.
And
And they did this during COVID,
yeah, so
yeah,
to
because
me,
these numbers include COVID.
so the books you can look at the books and realize they're getting ready for moves. You can see actual
Mhm.
getting ready. Something is coming for Barita, and more the more I look at it, the closer it looks like it's coming. And without something else coming, you can look at the numbers you have right now. Barita is not done. You can look at the management. You can look at what they seem to want for the group. They're not done. So I'm joining Randy on his dark horse train. I'm in the carriage.
I,
I'm on the carriage as the dark horse is dragging.
I hope it works out for both of us. I definitely hope it works out for both of us because we will need the money. While the pipe is on, catch water. My style already.
Yep.
All right, so I won't carry this on too long. Thank you very, very much,
Thank
Larren,
you,
for
guys.
joining
Thanks for the
us.
opportunity.
Yeah, man. Big up Danai for joining me in the carriage with Barita. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I will call time on this episode of earnings season. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. And look out for us again next week when we will go back to our company or our entire market analysis. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten.
Hey guys, thanks for listening.
Boom.
Yes, finally. Yes! What does that? It's called
Earnings season.
about time.
I don't need that, man.
And you don't need cigarettes. So we all have our differences.
Earnings season.